Hello, everyone. I'm excited to show you about indexing, how to index on your PC or your laptop. So it's similar to the app. The app is really simple, really easy. So there's a few extra little steps on the computer, but it's not hard. So really quick, we'll just get started. So I've already signed in. If you don't know how to sign in, go back and look at the other videos. And I want to go now to get involved. So click on get involved. You can look at an overview. I'll just show you really quick what these different tabs will do. So here's an overview of things that you can do to get involved. 1950 census going on at this time. And you can practice. I think that's pretty cool that you have an opportunity to practice without it being something that's permanent. And then it shows you how you can get the app, which I think is helpful. So there's that overview. Then you have on that same bar, you had other options. Well, it also shows you on the overview page. So you have my opportunities, indexing, and specifically the 1950 census record that's going on right now that they want people to work on. So let's look at my opportunities. So this will show you, this is my personal stuff, but it'll show me my last project that I was working on. So let's say I want to work on a very specific project. I like it. I just like the way that it's outlined or whatever. And so that's what I want. And you can keep doing that, or you can find projects. You can pick a new project. So the other things that it will show here is things that you've done. There's other options to review names. There's just different options you can choose. That's a picture of the app on the phone. So I could say I want to find a project, and I could say, well, you know what? I want my level of difficulty to not be difficult. So they have difficulty levels, and you can kind of pick what you want. Sorry, sort by difficulty. So down here on your left, let's see, this is not scrolling. Oops. Okay. Down here on your left, you have beginning, intermediate, and advanced. Now, I don't want advanced. I don't feel like that's where I want to be today. So let's say maybe I choose intermediate or beginning. If you're just starting out, start with beginning. That's what I would highly recommend. And so it's going to bring up different projects that you can work on that will be at a beginner's level. So that's a great place to start. Now I have a batch checked out. Maybe I have several, maybe I only want one, maybe I want 5 batches. You can just kind of click that and decide how you want to do it. But anyways, I would recommend just kind of playing around with this. This is more for older. I would recommend this part, the specific one for the adults and the older youth. That's what I would recommend, because there's a little bit more of a learning curve on this particular one. So when you're looking at just projects that you could be working on. So now let's go back to these other opportunities. So let's click on indexing now. So here's some great opportunities that they have that you can get involved with. The 1950 census record currently, but it might be a different project by the time you see this video. And you can get indexing help. So if you get stuck on indexing and you're like, I don't know how to do that, this is a great resource. There's lots of resources if you'll just click on them and get the help that you need. So I could work on this, I could click on this right now and get going on it, or I could find another project that I want to work on, whatever you want to do. It's up to you. Or this one is specifically will take you to the 1950 census record if you click on that. So here they've got an opportunity for you to help in other ways that are not indexing. So if you want to try some other opportunities, click on that if it's still available when you see this video. So there's lots of ways you can get involved, but I'm just going to click on the 1950 census record just to quickly show you one of the easiest ways to do indexing and to do a project, one of the easiest projects out there right now. So one kind of fun thing that I think people just kind of like is to know how much they've contributed. So you can click on see your contributions and it will show you what you've done. It'll show you, I don't know if I want to show you my, I'll just show you so you can see. So it'll show you what you've done, what reviews, names you've done, where you were at when you were working on stuff. That's kind of fun. And then you can also, if it's, oh, it's not on here. On your phone app, it'll actually show you like bars and graphs of what you've done. And that's kind of fun. And there's actually a spot in here, but that's not really the point of this video. So we're going to go ahead and get started. So I have an opportunity. I can do a couple of things. I can, as you can see, it says indexed by computers, reviewed by people. That is the coolest part about this, is the computer is doing the hardest part of the work, which is figuring out what it says. Your job is to make sure that it's correct, okay? So there's different projects you could choose. The one that I would recommend for beginners, and then you can play with the review of the families one. That's a very important one that they really want done. But let's just do the review names one. And you can choose the state if you want. I have been working in Ohio lately, so I'm going to choose Ohio again. And the last name, which says optional, that's pick a last name that you want to find. Maybe your maiden name, or if you're a woman and married, or your current last name, or maybe a family name that's in your family line. One of my names, my maiden name is Mishler, so I'm going to just click that, and it may or may not find a Mishler in the batch that it's going to, or in the records, but it might, and that's kind of fun. So it's going to bring up the names, and you don't have to put a name. You can just keep going. But this one brought up a Mishler, which is really fun. And so you can see here, oh, I zoomed out, sorry. You can see here, and I'm going to zoom in so you can see it better and I can see it better. But it brought up, it'll highlight the name that it wants to do, and then it will say what it thinks it says. And your job is to check it and see, is that a match? So you can see this is very similar to the app with a few little steps to get into it. It's pretty much the exact same thing. So you just click, that is a match. I'm just going to click it, and I'm not going to go through the whole page, but there's the next one, Mabel. Now, if I can't see that, I can always zoom in and say, oh, okay, or I can take my mouse and hold it and move it around. And I've just a real quick tip. When you are doing indexing, it can be challenging to read people's handwriting. I think that's why people get intimidated somewhat about indexing, is mostly it's, I can't read it, or I'm worried that I'm not going to be able to read what is there. So one tip that I find helpful when I have something I'm not sure what it's saying is I will actually look at the rest of the document and get familiar with how the person writes their letters, especially capitals. Capitals seem to be a challenging one. So I will look and see, okay, I know that's an M because that's Michigan. So that's what they draw their M like, or I know this is an O because that's Ohio, that's obvious. So that's how they do their O's. Or I'll come back in here, oh, okay, that's a baking, that's clerk, right? These are obvious ones that I can read really easy. So I know this is how they like to write their B, or this is how they do their W. And that can actually solve the mystery of what letter was that supposed to be. So that can be helpful. This one's an obvious one, Mabel. And Stauffer's pretty, this person has pretty easy to read handwriting, which is a nice one. But anyways, I'm just going to go through and their matches. But let's say I hit one that I'm like, that's not correct. Now this one happens to be correct. This person's handwriting is easy to read, so most of these will probably be correct. But let's say they spelled it wrong. Maybe they spelled Gina. They put Gina there. Now, I will tell you another clue. This is not always the case, but it can help. Is go and check the gender. The gender can be a clue to the name. If you're seeing something that looks very masculine in the name, but it's a female and it's a hard to read, you can sometimes figure it out that that's actually Gertrude, not Gordon, because it's a female maybe. Or anyway, so that sometimes I like to look at the gender if I'm having a struggle, and I like to check, oh, okay, that's not Francisco, it's Francis, or, anyway, so that can be helpful. Just a little tip there to remember when you're doing this work. So this one, see how sometimes you're going to find ones that are really, they're challenging to read. They're not an easy read. So there's a couple of things you can do. You can zoom in to see if that helps. And that looks like SCHUPBACK. So let's now zoom where I can see the thing. And they got SHCUPLACK. Now they're saying L. I'm going to zoom back in and make sure. No, that's a B. Now, if I'm not sure, I could, like I said, I can go look at their other letters and see if I can find a B and an obvious B or an obvious L and see how they write, what the difference is. But see right here below, this is annoying now, right? So come on the phone app, if you click on this, this will disappear for a minute so you can actually see the thing. But let me move it up a little bit, maybe that will help. Well, I was going to show you that their L is the obvious L. So this is a B. So I'm going to go in here, and I can do it two ways. I can click on the word with my mouse like this, or I can click edit with the little pink part and I can change it. So that's a B. So we're just going to change that to a B. And obviously your thing will bring up suggestions as well when you click on a word. But we have Schupbach. So, and now they're saying an H. Now that could be an H. It could be a K. So let's look at their H's. Here's an H here on Ohio. That could, yeah, that could be an H. What I might want to look for is a K, an obvious K. Let's see, there's her K. See how fancy her K is? So that is not a K. That is definitely an H. So I see that now. So that's just really quick. That's how I do it. And then submit when you're done. And if you hit one that is not obvious, here's Ernest, his is pretty simple. But if you hit one that's like, sometimes you'll see them where they've maybe, sorry, my kids are being really loud. Hopefully you can't hear that. They're scribbling stuff out, or it's like they wrote it and then they're like, oh, I messed that up, and they rewrite over what they wrote. Those can be really hard to read. It's okay. Just click unsure. You're not sure. It's okay. Move on. So anyways, that's how you do it. It's really simple. And it's a fun way to do family history work, and especially for kids, but even the kid inside this adult likes to do this. I tell my kids it's a matching game, just play the game. And so it's really, really fun. So thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to sharing more with you in the next video.